Jack Burton in the Pork Chop Express, and I'm talking to whoever's listening out there. Like I told my last wife, I says, honey, I never drive faster than I can see. Besides that, it's all in the reflexes. Just listen to the old Pork Chop Express and take his advice on a dark and stormy night, all right? When some wild-eyed 8-foot-tall maniac grabs your neck, taps the back of your favorite head up against a barroom wall, and he looks you crooked in the eye, and he asks you if you've paid your dues, well, you just stare that big sucker right back in the eye, and you remember what old Jack Burton always says at a time like that. Have you paid your dues, Jack? Yes, sir, the check is in the mail.
Yes, sir, the check is in the mail.
Oh, I love that character, man. Oh.
Carlito, you good? Uh-oh. Hey, Carlito, turn on another device so you can hear in the background. We'll just have to deal with the echo. Or try a different set of headphones.
I'm done. I'm out. Oh, so thank you so much for having me on, brother.
Yes. Sorry, we've been having technical issues with Carlito. I am Dan, your host. Station, everybody. Also, Chamorro's viewers coming over. When I decided we were going to do this, Carlito had never watched this, and there was nobody else I needed to have on the show but Chamorro because he expressed his love for this movie, and it's one of my all-time favorites. I've called it comfort food for me. If I'm having a bad day, like, I will sit and watch this. It's goofy. It's silly. It is the movie that broke John Carpenter and made him hate the studio system. So, Chamorro, tell viewers who might not know you normally about yourself.
Oh, yeah. I'm Chamorro Cinema on Instagram and whatnot. Channels branded now Manny's Different Perspectives. I don't know how long that'll be. I'm a master pivoter, man. I just change for the sake of change. So Manny's Different Perspectives, but still find me as Chamorro Cinema, because I won't change the IG handle then, because like once I do that, it's like official, and I like to have that, like, I can go back anytime.
You've already branded it, kind of. So
yeah, I'm stuck. I just like to split my brand, make sure that viewers can't find me, things like that, you know. But so yeah, I make comic book content, short form stuff. Try to give my honest opinion on things in under 8 minutes, and hope people like it. So,
do you know how hard it is to find a girl with green eyes?
Oh, and if you can find two, then you can marry them both. That's what I try to do in life, you know.
So this movie is historically one of the biggest failures in cinema.
But everyone I know loves it. Like, people that have seen it anyway, like, it seems like most people I talk to, like, oh yeah, I love that movie. I'm hard pressed to find people that don't.
So I listened to the commentary on the Blu-ray, and I'm pretty sure that Kurt Russell and John Carpenter are either high or drunk, because they get super honest about their careers, where Kurt Russell's like, yeah, it's great. I've never had a hit movie. They're all great when they're out of the cinema and on home video. I think he said Overboard's the only movie he made a ton of money on, like, in the theater, but his wife, or not wife, but partner, Goldie Hawn, was so popular. Like, it happens, but it was more of a family movie also.
Yeah.
But like, both of them were talking about it, and John Carpenter was basically like, after The Thing, nobody would hire him. He had to do Starman as a I'm sorry movie, because the Thing unfortunately came out the same week as Blade Runner and E.T.
Yeah.
And was just crucified for being this overboard, like, horror movie that was disgusting. Like, Ebert and Siskel just jammed it. But they also hated horror movies.
I was gonna say that's pretty much par for the course. there's very few horror films I can think of from the era that they're like super thrilled on, you know.
So I have some numbers on this, which makes it even worse. $25 million budget when it came out. It did domestic 11 million. International, it did 108,000.
Wow.
Yes. But weirdly, I don't think I have video sales though. Does it give me spending? It has made over $28 million in home video over the years. So home video was its, I mean, I'm not saying it should have been direct to video, but that seemed to be where it made its money. But it became a cult movie after that. Hold on, let me see if Carlito's working now. Carlito. Yes.
Dude, are you rocking the Knicks Kicks and Comic shirt?
Hell yeah, bro.
Dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going all out Texas tonight, baby. Check this out. Oh yeah.
So, Carlito, we were just talking about what a bomb this was in theaters.
Oh yeah. Hey, sorry by the way. I was ready to go, and I'm like, why am I not getting audio? It's screwed up. Anyway, yeah.
Jennifer, you owe it to yourself. My God, this
is
a
definitely.
Movie.
Yeah, Jennifer, you gotta watch it for sure.
So, $25 million budget. It made 11 million in America. It made 108,000 in the US. I mean, in worldwide, 108,000. That's it. Home video over the years, it's made 28 million. This also horribly had a horrible production. It started out as a Western. Then another company decided they were going to make The Golden Child, another Eastern mysticism movie with Eddie Murphy, of all people. So Fox was like, well, we got to make it modern. And so they tried to get the writers taken off of the movie when they went to make it a current movie. So they had this guy Richter come in. There's a whole WGA fight. He rewrote the movie in 10 weeks. They gave them $2 million for special effects for the movie. $2 million only. Steve Johnson did the creature effects. And according to him, they literally gave him no information on what these creatures were supposed to look like. Like there was just, this is a sewer beast. Make it work.
Somebody really liked D&D and they were like, all right, we're going to make a beholder basically. And just a big fuzzy guy.
Yeah. I say it all the time. So Fox turns around and says, you know what? We're only going to spend $3 million marketing this movie. We're not going to market it after it goes out into the theaters. It is just a wreck of a movie. They basically left them out to hang. John Carpenter's whole thing was, I want the American, the white dude, to be the idiot. And Fox was like, we're marketing the idiot as the star.
Yeah.
Where in reality, Dennis Dunn is the star. Which this was a whole... Dennis Dunn joined it because for once, there was a character that Asian actors weren't going to get. They weren't going to get to be the hero back then. And that's a huge issue back then. And James Hong, this was post Blade Runner. And he's been pretty much a character actor. And I will say Lo Pan is one of the greatest cinema characters, like villains. So much so that I have him tattooed on my leg.
Dude.
And apparently he's an insane person. My friend got this picture autographed by him at a convention. And It's when him and Egg Chen are having the gem laser video game fight. And he wrote on it, "You'll never beat me, Dan. Ha ha ha." So he's quite a character. Carlito, as a first-time watcher of this, what did you think? I know I've been talking about this movie forever.
Dude, I don't know why I haven't seen this in, 34 years since it's been out? Jeez, 36? Good Lord. Yeah, dude, it was fun, man. And for some reason, I never realized that John Carpenter was the guy behind it. I don't know. I just never put two and two together on that. But.
It's a very not John Carpenter movie. I mean, I think what got him, he always wanted to make a Western. And I think that's why Kurt Russell is doing that John Wayne voice.
See, Kurt Russell to me is just, especially peak 80s, is always just yelling. That's all he does. He just yells. This was like quintessential yelling for him. So it was awesome.
I love it. He's such an idiot, but he's so quotable as an idiot.
Yeah.
And like every big fight, he ends up knocking himself out of the fight. Like when he goes to pull the knife out and it flies. And he shoots the roof and it falls on the knocks.
When that happened, like I was cracking up so bad. I was just like, that's perfect.
And then when he gets the knife boot to work, he's got the samurai demon stuck on him. And he's like, "Get off!"
Yeah, hilarious.
Like Dennis Dunn, like even his first intro, where like Jack and him are gambling on the dock till the early morning, drinking beers, and we get Jack with his, all on the reflexes, which comes back several times.
Oh yeah,
yeah. No, man, I enjoyed it thoroughly. Like, it actually, for me now, seeing it now, might have been more enjoyment because of all the nostalgia from the 80s. I don't know. But
I always have to tell people, like, if you watch it, don't take it seriously. This movie, it's just sit back. Like, I know it's the quintessential, like, what people call popcorn movies, where it's not good. Like, it's not great cinema, but you watch and it's like, this is enjoyable. Like, I'm having fun watching this.
And I will say, like, typically that's not my forte, but there are moments where it's like I just want to sit down and just kind of have fun, So.
Yeah, the influences this movie had on pop culture later on, with one of the Storms becoming a member of Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
And again, all of these actors and stuntmen like literally got a chance to be stars in this. And again, like Asian actors at this time, especially I think the coalition really came down on there was the Asian mafia movie that was out during that time. Dennis Dunn was actually in it. There's something dragon. Year of the Dragon, which people thought was very offensive to Asian Americans.
A lot of people in this too that later got typecast as villains. Like there was a long-haired gang member that.
The dude who's balding, but he had the long hair.
Yeah. He was in Lethal Weapon. He was in a whole bunch of just like where he just played bad guys whooping ass. So
that was always pretty much, he was always like cast in that. Weirdly enough, they tried to get Clint Eastwood and Jack Nicholson to be Kurt Russell's part as Jack Burton, and I could never picture either of them pulling it off.
No, well, it's because at its heart, it's a fantasy movie. You know what I mean? Like it's very, very much a fun 80s fantasy movie. Like it doesn't need that level of seriousness. Like, and that's why Kurt Russell's perfect, because he looks like a leading man, but he still acts like a guy who cut his teeth out in the Disney movies. You know what I mean? Like he's not even in Tombstone, which I will Take to My Grave is one of my favorite, like,
It's 100%
films.
one of my favorite movies.
There are scenes where he delivers his lines and you're like, oh, that's right, that's Kurt Russell. You know, like when he shoots shoots the guy in the river, he's like, what? No. It's like, it's such a bad
Oh yeah,
delivery.
when he's walking. No.
Yeah.
No.
It's like, but that's why he's perfect. He's effervescent. He's fun, and he's not too serious, and it's perfect for this role.
I honestly would say I don't know if this movie works without James Hong as Lopan.
No,
Probably not.
He is so over the top. Like, he is the Gary Busey of Asian actors. Or Willem Dafoe. I'll go less crazy.
Yeah, Willem Dafoe's a little bit better.
But that part with, are these friends of yours that's pissing me off to no end? He has those outbursts. You were not put on this earth to get it, Mr. Burton.
he's just so much fun. He's having fun with it. It's like Frank Langella and Masters of the Universe. You know what I mean? Like they are just having so much fun with it. It's so good. It's just so good.
I mean, even Victor Wong, who John Carpenter used him and Dennis Dunn later on in Prince of Darkness.
Yep. Where
like Victor Wong is actually, this is a 6-demon bag.
Yeah.
Has everything you want. Wind. He's just going and goes, all right. So what are we drinking? Oh, good stuff.
Yeah.
You can
gives
see
you a
things
good
no one
buzz.
else can see, do things no one else can do. And when they're all in the elevator and Jack's like, is it just me or is it getting hot in here? It's so goofy. It's just, I think the actors didn't take it seriously either, and I think that helps it. Where like they're just like, guys, this is a farcical movie. Just do.
I don't know. Kim Cattrall took it pretty seriously. She was like the most serious in the whole movie, I think.
I think Dennis Dunn kind of, but I like in the middle of the fight, all of a sudden he'd do the little eyebrow raise, like, you know, he's doing a little Dwayne Johnson. And then like Jack jumps in the fight and he's like, it's over, man. Like, because he's like, ha!
Well, Dennis Dunn has the most natural, I'd say, of the performances in the film. Like
never did martial arts.
Oh, really?
No, he as a kid did a little bit, and then he was in Chinese opera. So he was a stage performer, but he'd never done anything like that. And Kurt Russell, Jack Russell. He got the role really late in the game. So he's like, I guess I'm going to go running and lift weights for 2 months.
I could tell for that chair scene, which is probably the one that they shot first, where he almost fell into the well. It was like his most jacked looking scene in the whole movie.
They also, I saw behind the scenes making of that. That's basically just a dolly shot and using forced perspective.
But I loved it when he rolled down the back. That was freaking awesome.
Like there's scenes that are really well shot. Like those rooms are actually tiny, but they used perspective tricks with the statues and everything to make them look way bigger than they are.
Yeah, Carpenter, man. He
Carter Wong was a Chinese weightlifting champion at one point. They called him Chinese Hercules.
Oh, dude, he's huge. The guy that plays Thunder.
Yeah,
he's massive.
The only person I can think who's bigger than him is in Bloodsport, Bolo Young.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Gosh, that guy's massive too.
Yeah, like that dude is gigantic, and he's 70 now and still jacked. Like he looks like he didn't age at all. He's not even gray haired, but he's bigger.
That's not even fair.
Like if they were ever gonna make the Amadeus Cho Hulk, I would just go ahead and put Bolo Young in and be like, paint him green, digitally affect him. Like that's your Hulk.
Oh, dude, that's not, like I said, that's not even fair. Because I mean, I've gotten bigger with age, but it's not been bulkier. It's just been rounder and far more gray than I care to admit.
Hey, Ignacio. Thank you very much for your kind comment on last night's stream for the book club. I know Chaos and Comics brought you there. But thank you for checking it out.
Yeah, I accidentally watched a little bit of that last night when I passed out in the recliner, and my autoplay on YouTube just kept playing. And then I woke up and like, oh, I'll check this out.
It got weird. Like, we started talking about Georgia O'Keeffe and stuff, and like a lot of what looks like a vagina, what doesn't in the book. It was a fun episode, and Jen was in chat because she wasn't feeling well enough to be on camera. But again, this is, we were talking beforehand, this and Evolution with David Duchovny and Orlando Jones are my I'm not feeling good comfort movies where I can turn them on. I would say Star Wars is another one where like you can turn it on and just be okay.
Yeah.
You kind of forget about what's happening. I think we all have those movies where you're just like, you know what, I'm just going to throw this on. I'm not feeling good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd say this film, I watched this film, Goonies, quite a bit
Goonies.
for on just lazy Sundays. And then The Devil's Advocate, for some reason, is always one that we watch all the time.
Oh, because
Used to watch all the
freaking oh my God, he's going so over the top in that movie with his monologues. Oh, Pacino is insane in that.
What year did that come out, by the way?
Oh, I think I was in middle school. So in some
97, 98.
So not too long after Heat. And he had like a string of roles that were like, he would do these like crazy overacting.
88 minutes was probably the worst.
Man, I barely remember that one. I remember in Heat with the whole she's got a great ass, you know. I'm like, oh God, he's funny.
James Hong actually reprised this role in the Ninja Turtles cartoon. He played a Chinese ghost spirit. They didn't call him Lopan, but he was doing Lopan for this role in the Nicktoons Ninja Turtles
look
episode.
that up now. That's awesome.
It was just one episode, but they basically did Big Trouble in Little China, but they changed all the characters' names to not get sued.
Of course.
Famously, like the guy who did The Fifth Element was sued by John Carpenter for ripping off Escape from New York.
I could see
he did that Lockdown movie, and the one with Guy Pearce in it with I forget what the actress from Taken, who's always Taken, and she was Taken in this movie. Yeah. But he sued them saying it was too close. Like Luc Besson got sued, and part of it was like, well, yeah, but you let Kojima with Metal Gear basically rip off. He goes, yeah, but I like his games, and he told me straight up he ripped me off.
So all you gotta do is tell him. It's cool.
Yeah, like basically, I think that was what it was. He was like, "Oh no, he was straight up about it that he was ripping me off. I'm cool with that."
Was that movie any good? That Lockout with Guy Pearce?
Oh fuck no.
Oh, I had a hard time in my head thinking of Guy Pearce as like a serious like action.
I like Guy Pearce
guy, and I was like, is he an action star? Do I want to see this?
I think he tried. Like, I think he was trying to get a piece of that Liam Neeson. Like, I'm gonna do dad action movies, and then Denzel Washington walks in and does The Equalizer. It's like, God damn it, he got that market now.
Yeah,
which sure. Equalizer 1. People haven't watched it.
Love that movie.
Great movie. So Big Trouble in Little China. Kim Cattrall is basically doing like 1950s women in distress, but also sassy.
Yeah.
And she had only done Porky's and I think one other movie up until this, Police Academy. Those were the two movies that she was most known for at this time.
She is in this film just for exposition. Like, that's the only reason she's just so she could say, "You mean David Lopan, the guy who owns Wii?"
Yes.
Like, that's all she does the entire movie, just exclaim.
At one point, yeah, I was like, "Oh man, that's all she's there for."
And then Jack Burton playing the businessman. Well, I'm looking for a girl with green eyes, fresh off the boat. That's how I like it.
When he what did he say when he first when he first walks up in there, because oddly enough, it reminded me of Chris Farley doing a bit, and I can't remember what is it he says
He's
when he
wearing
like,
the jacket that looks
Down
like
by the river.
oh
that
my god,
little jacket.
what he said, just like, oh my god, that's close to Chris Farley. Like that
Or
could
Chris
have been a
Farley
bit.
stole it from that because
It may be because oh jeez.
Oh man.
they're like, we need someone to walk up in there. It's like, hi.
Oh.
I love Jack's monologues. Like the one I love is like, it's like I told my ex-wife, I only drive as fast as I can see. Like,
It's
like,
all in the
not
roof.
even looking at the road, eating a sandwich, like looking at his
with the CB
radio.
eating the
Yeah.
burger.
Yep.
I just want. Were those scripted, or was he just going off the cuff? Did they say in the commentary you watched it?
No, they didn't. Like literally, it's basically him and Carpenter shitting over each other's careers.
Oh.
Like I've never. It's depressing. And then there's a part where during one of the action when they're escaping, an explosion in the wall goes off early, and it almost blew up in the guy's face running one of the actors.
Oh my goodness.
And I guess like they screamed, stop, and John Carpenter lit into the effects guy who was there with the explosions and like went off on him saying, you almost hurt somebody. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Yep. Oh man.
And like set direction back then was a lot more looser with stuff. I mean, as we just saw with that Rust movie with Alec Baldwin, which eerily, how many years after the Brandon Lee incident.
Yep.
For anybody wondering, there's a series called Cursed Films that's on Shudder that used to be on AMC, and The Crow was one of them, and they go into detail about what happened with that Brandon Lee incident because there's one just for The Crow, and it is disturbing, like what happened and how it happened. That basically they were in a state where they could hire non-union people. And they did, and stuff was not checked like it should have been. Not to bring it down, but
was Exorcist on that show?
Yes,
Okay.
Exorcist, Poltergeist, the Twilight Zone movie, which John Landis comes off like a giant fucking asshole in it. But,
By the way, I just gotta say this is the best blended whiskey I've ever had in my life up to this point.
What is it?
It smells like a buttercream, like cookie. Oh my god! And it goes down just as easy. It's the Texas blended whiskey from Firestone and Robertson.
Still drinking my Eagle Rare. I ran out of Scotch, but it's 33 degrees out here in Florida, so I figured I'd get something to keep me warm.
33. Damn.
Yeah.
I think it's like
for Florida. That's crazy. So Jackie Chan turned down this movie.
Really? Why was that?
Because after Big Brawl and The Protector, he felt they were failures and wanted to focus on his career in Hong Kong, where he was a way bigger star. But he was originally approached to be Wang Chi.
Huh.
So I started picturing it, and I was like, I don't know if it would have been better, because Dennis Dunn had kind of a charisma.
He didn't really do too much after that, though, did he?
Dennis Dunn, not so much. He did Prince of Darkness with John Carpenter, and I think he had small little character actor roles. But I know maybe this is just me because I'm so in love with this movie. I can't imagine another actor in that role.
Yeah, I can't either. And I think him and Kurt Russell were freaking awesome. So
yeah, they play off each other, and I think it's great that you have Kurt Russell, who I'm not going to say he's a bad actor, but he's not a great actor. Because even his breakdown moment in Tombstone,
yeah,
where he's walking through the streets, it's not great.
No, 100%.
Well,
it's my favorite movie of his, Backdraft. There are moments where I'm just like, oh my god, that's definitely Kurt Russell. So
I don't think Kurt Russell is fast enough to play against like it Rush Hour works, because those two characters like play really well off each other.
Yes.
One is so over the top, and then Jackie Chan is so stoic and reserved, right? And then like with Kurt Russell and Dennis Dunn together, they're both pretty chatty, charismatic guys, and I think that helps to push this in. It adds a layer of comedy where you don't want this film to ever think that it's serious, because there's so much ridiculous things that if it crosses the line into seriousness, I think that it loses its cult appeal. So I think that this is just a stars aligned casting with those two leads.
Also, watching the behind the scenes stuff, a lot of the stunt coordinators were dressed up as the Chang Sing and the Lords of Death. So they just kept changing. So they were on set constantly. They put fake mustaches on and the glasses for the Lords of Death. There is a deleted scene, which at the end it looks choppy, where Kurt slams on the brakes at the stoplight. In a deleted scene, he sees the Lords of Death Corvette, and he goes, "Son of a bitch must pay," and then careens into the car and drives it off a dock.
Oh,
it's just, there's certain things in here, and I mean, once you start getting Egg Chen involved,
Wong is that guy, man. I love that actor.
Well, also, you never could beat me, Egg Chen. There's samurai laser fight, like it's so stupid, and everything's like neon in that place.
Yep.
And that gorilla creature comes back in the comic book that takes place right after this. His name's Pete.
Yep.
Yeah, I was gonna ask, like, why they gotta leave us cliffhanging like that? What happened?
Oh, there's 3 volumes to.
Yeah, and Old Man Jack, which takes place like years and years, where you have Miao Yin and Wang Chi's daughter with Jack.
But they never made a sequel, right?
So The Rock is working on making a sequel to this.
What?
Yes. He somehow got the rights to it.
What about Jack Burton?
It's a sequel. And I guess they're going to do a time jump of like where Jack's been.
Oh, okay. I might be down for that. If it's Kurt Russell, I'm down for it.
Is The Rock gonna star in it, or is he just?
Of course he is. Of course he is.
But he's not going to be Jack, though, right? He's going to be.
I think they're going to try and make him the new Jack.
Ooh, yeah, I'm not down with that. Sorry.
Like a different character, but kind of the new Jack.
I love The Rock, but I just don't see that.
I think The Rock could play that role. Like, I don't want them to reboot it with The Rock playing Jack, although, like, I think he could do it. And Wang Chi would probably be, like, Tony Jaa.
I mean, honestly, I think Jack Black would make a better Jack Burton than The Rock. That's just my opinion.
But I don't think Jack Black's action enough. Like, The Rock can.
What are you talking about?
I'll tell you what.
The superhero videos that he's done.
After watching Peacemaker, John Cena probably could do it well.
Mm-hmm. I could definitely see that.
Too big.
There was definitely a time where I could see Dwayne Johnson playing that role. I mean, like, because I mean, there's glimpses of those comedic chops and like Baywatch stuff, but there was. I think at this point, The Rock's just become so much of a brand. It's hard to.
Well, I became like that with Channing Tatum in those 21 Jump Street movies, where I was like, listen, you could be good looking or you can be funny, but you can't be both. Like, stop.
I'm drawing a blank. I'm sure I was trying to remember which one it was. The film that The Rock did with Mark Wahlberg is based on a true story where they were
Pain or Gain.
Yeah, Pain or Gain. That's probably the time in his career where I could have seen him playing more of a Jack Burton role. Now it's just like he has to maintain that brand recognition of being The Rock. So I mean,
Mark Wahlberg would be horrible as it. Yeah. What's going on? Huh? You know what? I think we should do some push-ups. That make it feel better. Yeah.
Man, I'm. It sucks because they're gonna get all of my monies for it, but like, I'm really nervous about Uncharted. Like, very nervous about it.
Yeah.
But I know I'm gonna go see it, and I'm probably gonna rent it when it comes out because it's content, but it's still also like it's Uncharted. I don't know. I'm nervous. Very nervous.
Also, kind of funny about this is that during the thing, John Carpenter actually was able to kind of step back and let other people do the work. This movie, he had to like full bore do all the work again.
Oh,
I need to watch that.
Because on the thing, he had Ennio Morricone, the famous spaghetti western composer, doing the score, which is one of his favorite people. He's like, he's got this handled. Great. He had the guy who did the Howling special effects, Rob Bottin, doing the special effects for that. So he didn't have to be involved at all. He actually was able to just sit back and direct for once and just edit. This movie, he was so over involved and the budget was so small. Because again, 25 million, even for back then, especially 2 million for special effects. And I'm sure they were just like, well, you did Halloween. You don't need a budget.
Did they not read the script? Like they couldn't say, like they were like, hey,
Which script? Three different
true.
passes.
Very true. Very true. That is interesting though, that Jackie Chan would pass on this film and then go on and make Shanghai Noon and Shanghai Nights, which is another like Western.
30 years later.
Yeah, that's kind of cool how it kind of came around like that. But
which, if you think about it, Cannonball Run was his real entry into U.S. cinema.
True.
And it's weird because like after Rumble in the Bronx came out, like everybody knew Jackie Chan.
Yep.
New York, filmed in Vancouver.
Oh, Rumble in the Bronx, Super Cop. There was quite a few films at that time where I was like, oh, Jackie Chan, and I was a little late to the party, so I was more of a Jet Li guy, but Jackie Chan's got some bangers.
Comic Kid.
Yeah.
We live, or they live.
Oh yeah.
They live was, I mean, Rowdy Roddy Piper and Keith David have one of the greatest throwdowns that was aped on South Park with the cripple fight between Timmy and Jimmy.
Just brutal and raw.
Jackie's English was horrible. If you remember Cannonball Run, which came out 4 years before this, terrible. I really don't even remember him saying more than 4 words in it.
I got a confession to make. I've never liked Chris Tucker, so I've only seen parts of Rush Hour.
Fifth Element, I thought like he was subdued, but Friday really is what made him famous. To be honest,
he was all right Friday.
Friday's the first thing I've seen him in, and
It's
I
the only
still
thing he
associate him with that role after everything he's done so far.
I also love that he's a born again Christian now.
Is he?
Yeah, that's why he's not done any movies.
That's why he didn't do the Friday sequels, right?
He
really tough stand-up set I saw on like Netflix special or whatever he did, and I was like, oh.
I don't think he's that dude though. Like I don't think he ever was a stand-up comedian. I just think he was just a dude.
Yeah. I think he's
Did he not stand up?
I don't think he was. Michael Epps, who was in the sequel, definitely was, but not Chris Tucker. I really think Chris Tucker was just some dude who showed up to Central Casting one day and they were like, he's really funny. Like, let's put him in the movie. And he got a nice little career out of it. I mean, even that Money Talks movie with Mr. Tiger Blood, Charlie Sheen, was entertaining.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to say station to everybody in the chat. Thanks for being here.
Station.
Yeah, thank you. I'm sure most of you are from Chamorro's following because, I mean, listen, Carlito and I have a very small following, but...
Dude, I don't even make videos, and people are still following me, but not like that guy up here.
No.
But honestly, like, we would do the show even if nobody was watching because we just like getting together and talking movies.
Oh, this is a blast, dude. I love talking films because so many times you go on these talk shows and you do cover a movie, but then you're also trying to cover comics or video, you know, news of the day stuff. So it's kind of cool that we can just sit and chat about this film.
I love bullshitting about movies, like, and it's weird because like when I was doing the show with Jen, she watched movies, but she wasn't a movie lover. So like I'd start talking the language of film and it'd be like, yeah. We just did Dunkirk 2 weeks ago, and never have we ever talked more about sound editing in a movie before than that movie.
By the way, the second glass is way better because the first one, my ice ball melted because I spent 20 minutes trying to restart. So it was really watery. It still smelled good, but it didn't taste as good.
Actually still thinking about stuff I watch when I'm not feeling good. Batman the Animated Series and Mask of the Phantasm still hold up to this day. Like
Mask of the Phantasm is one of my favorite Batman movies. Like if I had to make a list, it's always making the top 3 or 4. Like that's such a great film.
I don't think it gets the appreciation of like how the animated series guys were just pulled. They're like, Warner's like, hey, like this is popular. Let's keep doing this. And they're like, we're gonna make it a Christmas movie. They're like, what? There's a great Kevin Smith interview with Paul Dini where they talk about all the animated series stuff, and he actually goes into where he was mugged and beaten half to death during it.
Yeah, during the animated series?
Yeah, he went and he was walking back from an award show and he got jumped and beat half to death.
Wow.
And he has like horrible like social anxiety now because of it. We're like just going out in public, he's scared.
Wow.
He made a comic about it, I think. It's pretty cool.
Yes. Paul Dini, though, he's one of my favorite Bat writers. Even when he was doing the Detective Comics little one-shots, I very much like them a lot.
Am I the only one that thought there was a little bit of Street Fighter in this? Or am I just way out of left field on that?
I didn't think so much Street Fighter. I don't think they pulled really from this for that. But there is a move in this that Dennis Dunn does that is straight out of Street Fighter, where he does the bicycle kick across the feet, across the screen.
Yeah, I meant Mortal Kombat, but not Street Fighter.
Oh no, like there's a bicycle kick, and it looked like kind of almost what
Mortal Kombat. That guy
yes,
reminds me of him for sure.
Yes, 100%.
This dude is straight out of Mortal Kombat.
Yes,
he's straight up Mortal Kombat for sure.
I almost bought the Hot Toys low pan.
Dude, Manny's got all the freaking toys.
I just couldn't rationalize.
I said on the stream once, I was like, I bet you don't even know or have California raisins. And he just like digs down underneath his desk and he's like, these?
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh my God, dude.
Oh, dude, those have become my son's like favorite toy too right now. Like, I don't even know where to find them. Like, because I was gonna throw them on the Whatnot auction, and I was like, I can't even. I'm never gonna be able to get rid of these. My kid is like addicted to these California raisin figures.
So, Steve Johnson,
right by him.
Steve Johnson went from doing Ghostbusters to doing this movie.
Ooh, speaking of which, I gotta watch the Afterlife soon when it comes out.
I saw the box set. Someone got it in their hands already, and I don't know. Like, man,
I've already got 1 and 2 on 4K, so I'm not buying the box set.
Did they end up adding 2016 to the box set? Because I know there was a stink about that.
I saw the 4K box had that in it too.
Okay,
Jesus,
because they were calling it the Ultimate Edition, and I know.
But I will say though, the 4K Bond that came out with the first 4 movies for $29 on Amazon, worth every penny of it.
Yep, even
$30 for all 4 on 4K, like great sale because the 5 movie one just came out for $89.
Oof.
But it works out cheaper if you just buy the 4 and then buy No Time to Die separate.
I'm definitely picking up No Time to Die. I'm like, so not to get off on a tangent, which we never do on this show, but I'm like the complete opposite of most of the Bond fandom as far as Daniel Craig goes, because I love the whole thing with Spectre and then also No Time to Die, and apparently everybody just hates on it on the internet. So, but that's cool, dude. I mean, whatever.
I have not sat down to watch since Quantum of Solace. I don't think I've seen a James Bond
Quantum of
film.
Solace was, oof.
Yeah.
But Casino Royale was
yeah,
a great reboot movie. Like, if you were going to restart, that is a perfect movie from front to end.
I'm looking forward to rewatching that on the 4K. That'd be nice.
I liked who is Christoph Waltz. If anybody was going to do Donald Pleasant's role as Blofeld, he can overact the shit out of everything.
Oh yeah.
And look, Donald Pleasance, I love to death. But that dude is pretty much, in my opinion, early Willem Dafoe. Like, he just, you put him in the scene and go. And he's gonna monologue for an hour and just be like, I'm done. Like, I'm just like Willem Dafoe is still the Boondock Saints. One of the craziest roles.
He's perfect for it. It's like Green Goblin. It's just one of those roles where it was like, he's perfect for this role. Like
he's in the gay bar and he's like, what are you looking at, faggot? And I'm like, dude, what the fuck is going on? Like, what am I watching here? And I'm sorry if I use that word, but it was used no. I'm not meaning to offend anybody. So
yeah, he's great. That film I slept on forever, Boondock Saints. Like, people kept telling me it was, and I think I rebelled against it because like people were telling me how great it was, and I was like, all right, yeah, okay.
I did too for the longest time.
The documentary about the making of, called Overnight, is insane. Like, the guy who made it is the purest sense of, I think I'm God now that I got this movie made, where he's making these crazy like demands.
Ooh.
Okay, so the episode, it's the 23rd episode of the second season of Ninja Turtles. It's called A Chinatown Ghost Story, which used the antagonist Lopan, called Ho-Chan.
Nice.
And the storm figure Rain is replaced by Wind. James Hong reprises his role as the character. There is also a Gangnam Style parody with Lopan called Lopan Style.
Now I gotta write that down too.
Yeah, Boondock Saints 2 wasn't great. I don't care. I still love you.
I enjoyed Boondock Saints too. I enjoy.
It's fun.
I've only seen it once, but I thought it was fun. Exactly, I thought it was good.
I mean, if anything, you see, oh God, what's the actor's name from Walking Dead? Norman Reedus, before he had a mullet, where he's pretty clean shaven, and the other guy who was in Powder.
Dude, the internet's going hardcore for Norman Reedus to be Ghost Rider. All because he's riding a motorcycle.
I don't think he's a great actor.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
If you're Marvel, he's got name recognition, and Marvel does like name recognition, and I think he could play the role, and you don't have to really train him to ride a motorcycle, which apparently Nick Cage had to do, which I'm going to go on a tangent here. Big surprise. The fact that the Crank movies were originally written for Nicolas Cage, and they had to get Jason Statham. I want a shot-for-shot remake with Nick Cage trying to do those lines.
Oh man!
Like, call it alt Crank. Like, I don't care, but I want that Crank movie with. Listen, I'm a Jason Statham stan. I don't know why.
He's good. I even like a crappy sequel to what was that?
Transporter.
Yeah. That second or third.
He's so hysterically not funny, but he's funny because he's trying to be funny.
Yeah. Dude, I loved him in the Italian Job remake with Wahlberg and Donald Sutherland and Charlize Theron. I loved him in that too.
I never watched that, but speaking of
too.
Donald Sutherland, the remake of Invasion of the Body Snatchers from 1978 or 79 with Donald Sutherland, fucking great.
Oh yeah.
Dan, you gotta watch that remake. I mean, it's Mark Wahlberg.
Listen, guys, I'm gonna be out here and I'm gonna be on a Miata.
It's before, like, I think it's before he really, really took off. Maybe not.
Listen, I don't know what you're talking about. Fear was the greatest movie ever made.
I still gotta watch.
I mean, him finger banging Reese Witherspoon on a fucking carousel, ruining her for life. She's just gonna be like, every time she starts seeing a Great Adventure commercial, she's like, oh.
Oh, that.
So, Reese Witherspoon. It's funny you bring that up. In Cruel Intentions, one of my guilty romance movies.
Romance.
Because I like to think of my love life kind of like that, tragic romance. Anyway, we're getting too deep here. But anyway, so like there's a part where she's like messing around in the car with him or something, like making a face. Dude, she looks like a female Joker. I'm telling you right now. She's a female Joker.
So my favorite.
I'm gonna screenshot it and I'm gonna send it to you, dude. It's
my favorite part of Fear is that Mark Wahlberg has a picture of his booking photo in his room. And not for nothing, he was arrested for stomping a Puerto Rican.
Never seen it
in real life.
And he
was
also
in jail for it.
Really?
Something too.
Yeah. But yeah, that part where he's like talking to Reese Witherspoon's father, and he goes, "You know, you're not handling stuff at home. Your wife's all over my stick. Nicole forever."
He's a star. He's a star.
Yep.
Someone made a cut of the end of the movie when they cut in Halloween, the end, with Dr. Loomis sitting there with Lori after he goes out the window with her crying, and they start playing Bush's Machine Head.
Yeah.
These guys, we watched a movie. I'm a fan of their channel. They did a review and they did that edit at the end of their review video, and it's the funniest thing I ever saw. There's also a guy who looks like Rob Zombie in there who, for some reason, oh god, what's the actress that she played Samantha on Who's the Boss? Alyssa Milano is like weirdly into. And like there's a sandwich shop next to this high school, but all 25-year-old people hang out there. Like there's a lot wrong with that whole fucking movie. And Mark Wahlberg, like basically there's scenes where he's just like, you're waiting for him to go, yeah, you feel it, baby? I can too.
Dude, I used to have the biggest crush on Alyssa Milano as a kid.
I think every male at some point did.
Man, what's up with that? What do you mean no moral cinema? What's going on?
Oh, because I changed the name of the channel to Manny's Different Perspectives. As a joke, I said I was No More Cinema on the previous stream I was on. And then until you brought that up, I hadn't even noticed that I didn't change it for this one.
Nice.
So
I get it now. I get it.
Weirdly, the Ghost Rider I see being more of a Disney Plus series. I don't see that being a movie.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how you do Ghost Rider as a Disney Plus series, but that's just me.
I mean, Hawkeye was kind of hyper violent.
I mean, for a guy that shoots bow and arrows, sure.
I mean, compared to some of the other series, I thought it was. Anytime you put
Falcon,
Vincent D'Onofrio in there, and he's like ripping doors off of cars.
The new Captain America and Falcon and Winter Soldier was pretty violent.
Also, speaking about weird TV series, finding out that Joe Manganiello went to HBO Max, Warner Brothers, and was like, hey, I've got this idea for this Deathstroke series. And he wanted to have Zack Snyder produce it, and they were like, nope. They were all into it until he mentioned Zack Snyder's name.
Yeah, there seems to be some super bad blood with Warner Brothers and Snyder. I don't think anything else is going to happen.
I mean, him having that social media thing and kind of bad mouthing them.
No.
Without really bad mouthing them.
Yeah.
I don't think any studio likes to have their hand forced. I mean, like, because the Snyder Cut, they ended up having to do, right? So it's like,
so now people are like ripping on Peacemaker. I think Peacemaker is entertaining. Like,
I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, I haven't seen it, and I canceled HBO Max, so probably not going to watch it.
I'll just wait till it's done and do like I normally do: get HBO Max for 1 month, binge everything, and then turn it off again.
I'm kind of like, I'm not a huge John Cena fan, but this is the role for him.
Well,
like,
I thought the Marine was his role, man. Come on.
Not the Marine too? Oh wait, he wasn't in that. It was just the Marine.
John Cena learned the same lesson that The Rock was able to pave that road way early, where he just found out one day that it was like, I learned alchemy is where they became they're always going to play that character now. It's always that. There's not going to be any change or nuance.
Nobody thought The Happening was his best role.
Oh gosh,
no, what?
Dude, I'm gonna drop a bomb that's gonna blow both your minds right now. The remake of Planet of the Apes, loved it. Fucking loved it. Mark Wahlberg, and then the soundtrack by, I think it was Danny Elfman.
It was Elfman.
Yeah.
The weird thing is, I don't know why people have this love affair with Planet of the Apes. Charlton Heston was fucking hot trash in the originals.
That's what I'm saying, dude. Like, it's way better.
You damn dirty apes!
See,
You blew it up!
I love
blew it all up!
I love how Mark Wahlberg in the beginning he's like friends with that little ape that's like really smart.
No,
you know.
Planet of the Apes, the Tim Burton Planet of the Apes. I think what's great about that film is that Mark Wahlberg is not the most memorable part of that movie. Like Mark Wahlberg fits this like real generic mold in that film. Every other performance stands out, and it doesn't. At the time, it didn't feel dated. Like at least when I was a kid, because that movie came out when I was like in middle school, and like for me to go back and watch Planet of the Apes felt like a homework assignment. It did not feel like something I wanted to do. This film came out and it was like, hey, I get this film. I enjoy this film as a modern action movie, you know, with giant apes, you know. So I'm with you, Carlito. I enjoyed that film as well.
I worked
the best Planet of the Apes
theater when that came out, I think. So I would go in and go to watch the credits just to hear the music at the end because I loved it. And then
The Simpsons, Planet of the Apes, the musical, the best.
Did some stuff.
Troy McClure.
Dr.
Zayas, Dr. Zayas,
Taylor Winder,
Dr. Zayas.
Taylor Winder, gonna disagree with you there, buddy. Titans is the DC's best show.
I have not watched that still.
By 2 miles.
Titans is really good. Like I first I wasn't digging it. Like as soon as the Batman thing came out, I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna like this.
I'm with you.
And then I watched it and I was like, I binged that whole season, and now it's one of those reasons I get HBO Max for a month.
Harley Quinn the animated was the one I was like, I don't think I'm gonna like this. I'm not a huge Harley fan. I was like, oh, this is really funny. Like, and I just kept watching it.
Man, I have so many friends and a lot that I've sent books to that are worth a lot now because it's Harley Quinn. But I don't care because like I'm not a big Harley Quinn guy, but the only version of Harley I've ever really like been into was on the animated. That was it. Like other than that, I really just I don't know. She doesn't really do much for me. But
yeah, Paul Dini.
Margot Robbie does a little bit for me, but other than that, no. So.
Paul Dini, the way he wrote her is this damaged person who has this weird Stockholm syndrome with this guy who is abusive to her. And I don't think people really pay attention to the she's abused part where like I've seen, God help me, like on dating sites, I've seen people like saying Harley looking for her Joker. And I'm like,
please let's not talk about dating sites.
And I'm just like, I don't really want to address this with you because this will let my freak flag fly. So I'm just going to keep passing.
It is a minefield out there.
I enjoy her, like even in the comics now. I enjoy Harley when she shows up as part of the Bat team. Like I like her in doses. You know what I mean? And I think I like her more now that Punchline is out because they're so completely different. And it's like for some reason it's like Coke making new Coke. You know what I mean? It's like now I'm just like clinging to Harley, which I've never been a Harley fan, but I'm like, yeah, no, I just don't like Punchline that much that like I'm like, oh yeah.
It's like when Coke did Clear Coke and Pepsi did Clear Pepsi.
Oh, Crystal Pepsi. Oof.
It's like
so Punchline, I will say, like, cool character design.
Mm-hmm.
I like the design of the outfit and
the way she
everything.
looks. Yeah.
But the way it was introduced and the actual like way the character behaves, I'm not really a fan of. And I guess it's the abusive nature of Joker in general. And basically she's like a weird toxic blogger.
Yeah.
I haven't read any of it, so I can't speak on her backstory, but character design, the only thing I noticed was she had that pumpkin pie haircut thing.
Pumpkin pie.
From Dumb and Dumber. Pumpkin pie haircutted freak or whatever. And Dan, this is why I love talking to you on, like, even if there's no one here, because usually in my life and why people hate me is I always go back to talking about movies and quote and stuff like in regular conversation with people. And
I can't imagine anyone hating you, Carlito.
Yeah, thanks.
Again, like, I love talking movies. I quote movies way too much in my life, probably.
True.
And I've had the moments where, like, I've had people I'm dating. I was like, all right, we're gonna watch Big Trouble in Little China, and they're like, what the fuck are you talking about? I was like, hold on, like, just give it
a chance.
And they either get it or they don't get it.
Dude, I enjoyed it, man. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I'm glad I watched it. I'm a little pissed that I waited so long.
I was worried you were gonna hate it because of how silly it is.
No, dude, it's John Carpenter. I was just thinking, like, I haven't seen all of his movies, but of the ones I've seen, I can't think of any I didn't like. So
there's a movie by him I know, like, outright I hate.
Like, I even saw one of his first, like, smaller, like, horror thriller films a few years back when, like, John Schnepp recommended it, and I was like, I don't think
Vampires
I'm gonna like
with James Woods. I hate. Like,
I haven't seen it.
I don't hate it.
I haven't seen it.
I don't enjoy it. Like, it's weird. It's
I don't like James Woods at all.
We covered this on Dylan's horror show, and it was like, I remember vividly sitting down. It's a Friday night. I'm in California. We got a bunch of friends over. Went to Blockbuster. We rented John Carpenter's Vampires. Got a round table pizza right in front of me
in the theater.
And it's like, and I remember us all enjoying the film. And then I had to watch it again for Dylan's horror show, and I was like, this is just not fun to watch. It's not fun at all. But yeah, I don't hate it. But
I bet Taylor's probably the guy that loves James Woods. I'm sure.
There's a movie that my memories are more about what happened that night than about the movie, and that's Event Horizon.
I don't remember that one. I know I've seen it, but
God, I've watched that movie way more times than I should probably. It's probably fucked up by mine somewhere. Yeah, all the times I watched it.
So there was this restaurant next to the theater. It's a chain restaurant.
in Florida.
I can't remember the name of it, but it's been so. They had this sandwich called the Headhunter. Oh God.
Not to get off topic, but Chamorro, you're in Minnesota, right?
I am, yeah.
If you ever come to Des Moines area, you need to go to a place called Zombie Burger.
Zombie Burger?
Yeah, it's great, dude. Oh, it's been around for a while, but
Zombie Burger. It's been a while since I've been to Des Moines, but I've always had a good time.
Their burgers are expensive as shit, but it's cool to get once, and be like, yeah, this is pretty good.
Okay, so there was this chain called Jungle Gyms.
Jungle?
And
That's a restaurant?
yeah, it was a restaurant chain, and it was right next to the movie theater we went to see Event Horizon.
In Florida?
Yes, we got hammered before we went to see Event Horizon, which probably the best way you could watch that movie. So after the movie, it's the restaurant's closed. My friend pulls his truck up to where the gorilla is chained outside, and we ended up stealing the gorilla from the restaurant, and is now in my friend's tiki bar in the backyard of his house. And his wife hates our guts because that gorilla is never going to leave.
Oh,
Awesome.
Oh, that's great.
Like it was part of like when they were having the party for their children being born.
Oh.
The gorilla's out there and she's like, they're going to inherit this, aren't they? I was like, yes, they are. It was one of the great, like this thing was 300 pounds. We loaded into the back of his truck. It has been in his backyard ever since. He has never moved from his house, and he built a tiki bar around it.
That's awesome.
So my memory of Event Horizon will always be about this fucking gorilla, not about the fact that it's Hellraiser in space.
I think I've only been to a movie like wasted once, and it was when I used to work at the theater, and we had like screenings that the manager would do, and he also happened to be my roommate. But oh my god, I can't remember what movie it was. That's how bad we were when we watched it. But,
I love Event Horizon. I think it's one of those films that like I think it's like 1998ish, 97. So I was like just on the cusp of high school, and it was like, this is a grown-up horror film. You know what I mean? Like,
what I also remember is that there is a whole work print out there that somehow got lost of the actual real ending.
Mm-hmm.
And for some reason, Shout Factory couldn't get their hands on it for their release. They tried, and they said that it's damaged.
Well,
Shout
that
killer on Blu-rays and 4Ks.
That and the Blood Orgy. See, the work print is on VHS, and they found it in a salt mine.
Salt mine, yes.
Yeah, so it's like it's a very, very damaged print, but it's like I am morbidly curious to find out what could have been worse during the blood orgy scene, because that in that film is
blood orgy. That's awesome.
Yes.
Such a disturbing scene. They're like they're amputating each other while having sex. Like it's such a obscene, and it's like I can't even imagine what it was before that, because that film had to be cut so many times to get to its R rating, and it's like, wow, I'm so interested to see what the hell happened there.
And apparently that's a thing with keeping film negatives in salt mines.
Really?
Because it keeps all of the dampness out.
Makes sense.
That makes sense. That makes sense.
Apparently that's where the Indiana Jones negatives were kept.
In a salt mine. That makes sense. You'd think like silica, like they'd be able to just like get some sort of silica packets or something and keep.
I think it's mainly for budget that these salt mines exist, that they can just pay to keep it there instead of having to build these own vaults. Yeah. Then like, what about the Disney vaults? What the fuck are they?
That's just a ploy to get you to buy movies.
Yeah.
Like get it before
I do not want to talk about Disney. Because of the fact that they bought Fox, knowing that a lot of these films that you can get now, but you probably won't be able to in a few years, because Disney likes to do the like moratorium on stuff for like ever and never release anything. Like
Disney
I'm gonna have
to
buy some 4K some movies.
If Disney wants to make a lot of money, do the restored work print of the Fincher Alien movie. Because you could only get that work print on the one box set, and that's the only way of the actual Fincher cut.
Mm-hmm.
And it is a completely different movie.
That's what everyone. I've yet to see that version of Alien 3. Like, but everyone says how good it is, or how much.
It's insanely different. But Fincher was the wrong director to ever have work on that series ever.
Yeah. Oh, Fable didn't talk to me for like a week because we were talking about alien movies on I don't remember whose show we were on, but I was like, Alien 1 and Alien 3 feel like a similar Aliens does not feel like Alien or Alien 3. Like of the trilogy, that is the outlier. Like it's such a great film, but it's an action movie. Like it's not.
Yeah, well, that was James
Cameron.
Oh God. James Cameron. That's what he wanted to not feel like the other movies, that he wanted to go more in the military aspect of it and Ripley's trauma.
Yeah.
Which for James Carpenter, God damn it. James Cameron, that makes sense because I mean, look at the character like Linda Hamilton in Terminator.
Yep.
You know, she's a waitress.
I mean, Ripley
gets thrust.
Linda Hamilton. So,
100%.
Is Jen still here? I'd like to hear.
I think she's long gone.
Long gone. She likes to just pop in, say hi, and they get a bounce.
Pretty much, yeah. It's like, I supported you. Bye.
I'm horrible at lives. I'm 9 times out of 10 I'm driving, and like so I pop in, I say station, and then I gotta wait till I hit a stoplight. And where I live in rural Minnesota, that could be miles and miles before I can stop to say hi to people.
Like that one live stream you did for Fright Night, I was out running during it, so I was like listening to it. I'm like, wait, hold on, I gotta stop and type something.
Was someone after you? Why were you running?
I have this weird thing where I like exercising every now and again, like it relaxes me.
Dude, I used to do that in the last couple of years. Obviously, I've fallen off, and I really miss running. But this is just so much easier, so I need to get on that.
Although John and Bearded, when they had their Richard Donner special, like I don't know why, but like a lot of stuff they were saying was triggering me. I was like, hold on, I gotta type this, and I was outside like running, and I was like, hold on.
I'm gonna have to look that up.
The Richard Donner one, it was going over his whole movie history, and I forget what movie it was, and then Beard and I got into it because he said something about Batman Returns, and to me, that is the start of the whole downturn of the whole Batman franchise, because that's where it started getting silly.
Oh, yeah. Hey, Dan.
Oh.
Batman Returns is the most underrated Batman film ever made.
It wasn't for me.
I love Batman Returns and Batman. I even love Batman Forever. I mean, if I'm being perfectly honest, like that's a film that I've seen multiple times for no reason other than I enjoy it. Batman and Robin, I think I've only seen once in the theater as a kid. But
I watched that second time a couple of years ago just because John told me to watch it, but like just think of it as a comedy, and I did, and actually I was laughing, but not because it was like supposed to be funny, but because you know how just ridiculous it was. But that'll be the last time I ever watch it because it's horrible.
The 89 Batman, when you start thinking about how little Batman actually is in the movie,
yeah, dude, no,
he's in 19 minutes of it.
Yeah,
Batman Returns is like at least twice that much.
But God help me, the 4K of the 89 Batman, you start seeing how much of the makeup is actually on Jack Nicholson's clothing.
Yeah. I noticed that on the DVD.
Oh boy, like it started popping out to me, and I was like, oh boy, like wow.
Oh, every time I do a stage show, I think the same thing because I'm like, because I have to have brown foundation and pancake makeup, and my clothes are just. We've done period pieces where I have like white frills, and they're not even close to white by the time I step on that stage.
Dude, speaking of the Batman 89 Jack Nicholson makeup thing, one of the freakiest scenes when I was like young and watched it was when he was like wiping his face, but then it was going white, but it still had streaks of like the Oh my god, dude, it's so creepy when he turned around. Oh man.
And she throws the water in his face or whatever it is.
I'm melting. So then he had the line, never rub a man's rhubarb.
Yeah, never rub man's rhubarb. Love it.
And then like all of a sudden, then like Michael Keaton has to do his over the top acting. You want to get nuts? Let's get nuts. Like
I'm sorry, that fucking tin tray is not going to stop a bullet. I'm just
no.
But I mean, maybe it was made out of gold or some. I don't know what the hell.
Yeah, my history with Tim Burton is not great. Like there's a lot of his movies I don't like. Like Nightmare Before Christmas, I think is so horribly overrated.
I've never seen it because everybody's fucking spouts how great it is, and I'm just like.
But I love Sleepy Hollow.
Yeah,
Sleepy Hollow was okay.
Sleepy Hollow is a really like cool exploration of like gothic fantasy. You know what I mean? Like it checks all the boxes.
Willem Dafoe being the headless horseman, I was like, all right, like that's good. I'm good with that. I did like the
dude, I usually don't do this. I'm having a third pour. That's just crazy.
Not the
I think I'm having with Chamorro on here.
What was the barber?
Sweeney Todd.
Sweeney Todd. I thought that was good. I like that. I thought that was more in his wheelhouse of stuff that is entertaining. Mars Attacks. I also, because it was so weird.
Never seen it.
Mars Attacks. I've only seen. I may have seen it twice, but I think it only counts as once because I went to the drive-in a couple times and saw it, and so like I didn't watch it the whole time. Because I was still at an age where it's like I just went to the swings and went to the snack bar a lot and then back to the car. But I love Tim Burton. I love aspects of Tim Burton films. I just can't sit and watch multiple Tim Burton films. Like, you know what I mean? Like there needs to be a break. Like, because there's so much repetition that's being confused. Like, repetition doesn't mean genius or style. You know what I mean? And I think that a lot of times we confuse that. We're like, oh yeah, he's just such a genius. No, he's lazy. He's done this already. He's done this before.
But God, I kind of wanted to see that Nicolas Cage Superman movie.
Oh yeah.
Oh man.
Oh, I want to watch that docu. I want to see the whole documentary.
You gotta watch the documentary.
I bought it when it was still a Kickstarter, and man, it's worth it because Nicolas Cage like. I might want this long hair in my real life. I don't know.
I think I'm
such a weird guy.
I know I rented it at least, but
I'm sure someone uploaded it
on YouTube, and it was like it was from the director or whatever, and he gave you like 10 minutes or something. And then it was like random like rabbits or something after that. He's like, buy the film, like, but it's like, oh man, you gave me a taste. Now I really want to see it.
It was on Showtime for a while, and the Showtime app and stuff like that. Like it shows up weird places every now and again.
Speaking of, were you ever fans of Dexter, the original series back in the day? Did you watch the new one?
No.
Not all the way through. I saw some of it.
After the last season of it, I would just
it was a great season. The last episode was not very good. So I know the original writer and stuff wanted to make up for the.
Oh, they Stephen King'd it, or they just can't hit the ending?
First one, but this time I think actually I had a worse feeling from this one than I did the last time. So
most of the people I talk to just it's the lack of. In Dexter the New Blood, it's the lack of resolution with Miami Metro. You know what I mean? Like the fact that this all takes place with somebody else, and there isn't that moment where Angel and Dexter get to have their face off.
And spoiler alert, the episode before the finale, they tease Angel like kind of getting involved, and then it's just never touched on again.
Yeah, because it's
after the Trinity killer for me, it kind of all went downhill.
Well, yeah,
I think that was the best season.
Yeah,
and I think that was the last one that the original guy did that did New Blood. So the 4 after that were kind of whatever. But
I feel that way about Supernatural. I feel like after Eric Kripke finished like season 5, and that was the story he wanted to tell, like Supernatural just drug on for 10 more seasons.
I had a friend who recommended that to me, and I tried to watch it. I watched one episode. I couldn't get past it because it was just like shirtless hot dudes. I'm like, oh, this isn't for me.
Oh, that's my favorite part.
She was like, well, it's just at the beginning. Like it gets deeper into it. I'm like, I just
what Supernatural got really smart about really quick was realizing the ridiculousness of it, and they started doing more comedy and like type episodes. But no, man, me and my brother, we have debates, man, because I'm a big Jensen Ackles crush. You know, he's one of my celebrity crushes. Plus, he's little like me. He's short, so I think we could. He looks short compared to the other guy.
Compared to Sam, he's huge.
Yeah.
Like I think
I'm gonna assume he's short so that I can keep the fantasy going. But he's definitely. And my brother loves Sam, and I'm like, Sam looks like a fucking turtle. He's like a giant guy with like a turtle. He looks like Krillin with long hair. You know, so we just so we go back and forth.
He kind of at some point he got buffed up and he looked like Frankenstein.
Oh God. He does look like Frankenstein. Oh,
like from Monster Squad. He's like,
oh, I had such a like one of the first videos I made. I was talking about Batman or who should be Robin in the DCEU, and somebody had said, "Oh, it needs to be Jared Padalecki for Nightwing and Jensen Ackles for Red Hood." And I was
he'd
like,
be a good Red Hood. I was like, animated movie. But...
I was like, I love the idea, but I don't think Warner Brothers is going to take two guys that play brothers and on TV and then make them kind of brothers in the DCEU. I don't see him doing that. And this dude was adamant, dude. I think we had like 17 comments back and forth where he's just like, you're an idiot.
I mean, they're both too old for one.
Yeah.
Because I mean, goddamn, that show was on for 17 years.
Oh, dude, and like I said, it should have ended after 5.
Which death? I mean, the death of their father the first time, or Jensen's death. It does, like everybody dies. Like they die and get reconstituted constantly. That's the only way they can go 17 fucking years.
Yeah, except for Jim Beaver, the one character you want to get resurrected stays dead.
Who weirdly from Deadwood.
Yeah.
Deadwood was great.
We were just talking about before we went on air about Deadwood.
I don't know. All right.
So weirdly, way back to this movie.
Yeah.
What?
I if I do a grade out of 10, like I know what this movie is. Like it's an 8 for me.
Oh wow.
I can't go a 9, I can't go a 10. But for pure entertainment value, it is an 8 for me.
Yeah. I'd have to agree. I'd say an 8, even an 8.5. It does exactly what the film sets out to do. It sets out to be entertaining. It sets out to be a fantasy. You know, I think it succeeds more than it fails, but there's some glaring issues that keep it from attaining the higher echelon scores, I think.
Well, I was at a 7, but you guys convinced me. I'm going to go 7.5.
And again, like this is a movie, I don't think the studio knew what it was. Like they literally did not know what it was. And that showed with how they marketed it, with they're like, well, no, like Kurt Russell's our star. So we gotta, and even he's like, no, I'm the sidekick. Like this. So he understood.
I know you probably covered this while I was fixing my mic issue, but what was the budget on this film?
$25 million.
Okay.
$2 million went to special effects, and it made $11,001,105.
Oh man! But hey,
it made on home video though. Made it all back.
There you go.
Which I mean, I've seen this over the years with just studios not understanding how to market stuff. I mean, WB is famous for this in particular. even what they've done with the DCEU, where they're just like I don't know, we went all in on the Zack Snyder thing, and I think we fucked up, so let's just ignore that it all happened.
Oh,
WB with the DC movies are notorious for showing too much in trailer previews.
Fox is famous for even their handling of Star Wars, where they kind of fucked up and they told George Lucas, fine, fund your own movie and you can keep all the rights to the marketing and the toys. And he got a loan and did it because they didn't believe in it. So, like, Fox did this movie. So, I mean, I don't know if they were completely involved, and Fox was a pretty big studio back then.
Yeah.
With WB, misstep after misstep after misstep, and then pissing off directors with the whole going to streaming, which during the lockdown, I get it. I 100% get it. In Mortal Kombat, I don't know if that would have done well in theaters. Dune, I think it worked out. It still did 383 million. Matrix, I don't think I ever would have seen that in the theaters. I really don't. After the last,
I'm disappointed that I saw it at home.
Yeah. I'm glad I saw it at home though, as opposed to paying to go to the IMAX.
Yeah. No, I'm going to be perfectly honest. I didn't even pay for as soon as the critics came out and they were talking about it and Robbie was talking about it and stuff. I just watched all the clips and just cut it that way because it wasn't. I was like, oh, I don't want. I watched it because I felt morbid curiosity, but I hate that it damaged something that in my heart was such a great franchise for me. I loved all the Matrix.
No, dude, it didn't damage anything. The first 3 movies are it for me. That's it. There's not anything else after that.
Yep.
It's kind of like Batman. There's Batman Returns, and then it jumps to Batman Begins. Batman,
Blade 2.
Right.
Yeah, I'm already getting emails from WB about to pre-order tickets for the new Batman movie.
Really?
And that's not coming out till March 10th.
Yeah, I got pushed back because I thought it was supposed to be February originally.
Yeah, they're saying in 2 weeks you could start pre-ordering tickets, and I was like, I mean, let me get to February first.
More opposite to what I want. The more I see and hear about this new Batman movie, the more stoked I'm getting for it. But I'm trying to temper my expectation. Like the whole thing about how long it is, like, oh, it's the longest Batman movie ever. That appeals to a guy like me. Like, I'm like, sweet.
Well, Paul Dano playing the Riddler, that intrigues me because he's an interesting character actor.
For sure.
I'm not digging the look of the Riddler, but other than that, I'm liking the casting.
Of a lot of it, to be honest, but
no.
Give it a shot.
I was telling Tiff, because I'm a big toy guy, so like I was looking at the toy solicits and I was like, gosh, I don't even want to buy these. They just I don't like the way the mask sits on his face. I don't like Selena Kyle's costume is probably the closest, like as far as the toys go, probably the closest to something I would purchase, but everything else is
my friend designed the toys.
Oh no, I'm sorry. It's not his or her fault. It
could have been just
it's the way the production design is.
It's what they were given, but he was very proud about the Batmobile.
Oh, I bet
that looks good.
It's a very large toy, and he was like, "Man, I'm like real happy about this." And that's where he like left out what he's proud about.
Yeah. But the smaller stuff like that, I don't know, man. Like sometimes they can either really nail it, or it's just like
it feels like they're going for a Fincher vibe with this movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
at least with the Riddler, like I'm getting a lot of the John Doe feels.
I am stoked about the Riddler because as a Batman fan, like, and ever since they've been doing all the new movies and everything. Like, I really wanted to see a Christopher Nolan Riddler.
Because you didn't like Batman Forever's
oh my God.
Riddler?
I mean, Jim Carrey was great as the Riddler, but the movie as a whole,
And Sugar and Spice.
can't get behind it. So
I don't remember who it was commented on my last vid because I reviewed War of Jokes and Riddles. And I was like, this version of the Riddler is not the Riddler. This is like Victor Zsasz and Mr. Mxyzptlk had like a sexy love child. Like I don't know who the hell this guy is.
I hated Tom King's run. And like, it's just not for me.
yeah. So.
And I said I loved Jim Carrey's Oscar-worthy performance as the Riddler in Batman Forever. They're like, you're not serious, right?
You're just trolling people.
Just fucking with you.
I don't know if it was Oscar-worthy. I mean, it was entertaining. Don't get me wrong, but Oscar-worthy.
No.
I mean,
I always, as much as some of the internet loves to hate him, I always thought Johnny Depp would have made a great Riddler, really. So, but he has kind of been typecast as that weird like character for a long time, so maybe I'd be a little tired. But
I've always pictured it. You're basically playing Willy Wonka, which he already played.
I see a lot of people hated his version of that. So,
I mean, if you go back and watch that old Willy Wonka movie, I mean, it's a horror movie with Gene Wilder. Like,
yeah.
Like Gene Wilder is fucking frightening in that movie.
A little bit.
Especially when they're on the boat. And he's yeah.
Still scares me.
It's getting, oh God, I can't even remember the lines, but he like starts getting louder and louder.
Oh, it's so disturbing. It makes no sense even like in the film. Like it's intentionally in there to be a weird freaking scene. Like there's no build up to it, there's no resolution from it, it's just there.
And then the Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, they had digital Oompa Loompas, not this one. No, they went legit. They had just all human Oompa Loompas.
And the like girl that turns into like, blueberry and like floats away, that was
Violet Beauregard.
Yeah.
Oompa Loompa Doompa Dee Day, I have a little story for you.
I was amazed at how much my almost 2-year-old sat in that movie, held his attention, because I remember as a kid always fast forwarding until they got to the chocolate factory, but he sat there and watched the entire thing.
The original or the remake?
The original. If when my kids get a little older and they want to make their own choices, they could definitely watch the remake. But as it sits in my house, so long as they live in my house, my rules, we're not watching that.
Your house.
I like that you went to the Batman voice. As long as they're in my house. Wizard of Oz is one I don't go back and watch it all anymore.
Really?
There's not really a reason for it. Maybe it's just not on TV, but I don't think in 20 years I've ever rewatched it.
That's fair. I remember when TV used to be a thing, like national broadcast. It used to always be on.
Mm-hmm.
I always watch it, but yeah, you're right. I haven't really seen it since then either.
But I did remember, like, a girl I was dating. Her and her kid used to watch every year all the Charlie Brown specials.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, I don't know if they'd have these shows anymore with this depressed bald kid. And I just remember her getting real pissed off at me. She's like, why are you saying that? I was like, he has manic depression. He has alopecia. There's issues. And she was just like, could you leave the room and let us watch this in peace? I was like, whatever, I'm done.
I mean, Linus has enough issues too, but go there.
I've actually never seen anything Charlie Brown.
What?
Like, I mean, I'm familiar with the characters. I think I've read the strip on Sunday paper. I don't think I've ever watched anything. It's been on at holiday gatherings. I've just never sat down to watch it.
Weirdly, my favorite holiday special they ever had was probably those Hanna-Barbera like ones where they had Yogi Bear's Christmas and stuff. There was a Fat Albert one that like I weirdly really loved as a kid.
Oh,
That all worked. Yeah.
I think the only holiday special I watched pretty regularly was the Muppets, not the Muppets Christmas Carol, which I love, but the Muppets where they all go to like the house and there's like some Sesame Street and Muppets characters, and they just
The Simpsons
Frank
ones
Wells.
were a thing for me for a while, especially Homer messing up Christmas every year, and then they had the one Gary Coleman weirdly with the Funzo doll that was basically a Furby.
yeah. Oh, Furbies.
Speaking of robotic stuff, looks like we got some Russian bots in the chat.
Yes, I saw they've been popping up in the stream quite a bit. I'm sure they'll be making comments about, "Hi, I love your show. Come see my webcam."
Yeah. You need to make me a moderator so I can block these a-holes.
I thought I did, but I'm kind of amused by them too.
That's what
Twisted Dan.
Remy was saying the other day. He's like, I used to block him, and now I'm just like, all right, fine, share your sexy website with me. That's fine.
Hey man, Putin's up to something, so you better watch it.
Come give your credit card right here. Like, I don't even delete the comments anymore on the videos. I'm just like, I'm just gonna leave them. Fuck it, whatever. It's just John's Comics with Kids was getting nailed with them constantly, figuratively, not literally.
Oh, they've been out in force.
Yeah,
most live streams I'm on lately have all been.
They're getting ready to take over Ukraine. Maybe we're not.
they used to never be live streams. It was always just in the comments afterward where I'd be like, "Oh, cool, a comment." I'm like,
Well, and like when I'm moderating in other chats, it's like I can only time them out for 300 seconds, and they wait. They're just like waiting. As soon as the timeout's done, boom, back at it.
Well,
when I was in the Tag Team Thursdays with Rod, like every one of my videos would hit like always, like never end. Between my ex like hitting the thumbs down constantly, I would have those comments.
Has your ex been around lately? I don't think I've seen your ex.
Well, they got rid of the button to thumbs down stuff.
They did?
Yeah, so
Wait.
she just follows me around, stares me down at work because that's not
on YouTube. Or are you talking like something else?
On YouTube in general, they got rid of the thumbs down button.
They did. Oh, that's a shame.
For a while, I was thumbs downing every one of my videos when they went up, because at the time it was like the logic was engagement is engagement, and if I have thumbs down, then that means people were watching and engaging, right? So I was
I used to thumbs down Tyler's videos all the time.
Yeah.
I can't remember his name right now, but
yeah, like if it wasn't her ex-husband, it was her or my dickhead friend that she turned against me. So like it was just like a weird thing, and of course like two of them I worked with, so it was equally like weird.
I'm glad I'm not that famous. I don't have to worry about that yet on here.
Oh no, like she also was running around telling people that I was using my show as a dating site.
Oh, how's that working for you? Maybe I should try that.
Well, considering they all live in different parts of the world, it's great.
I mean, maybe that's better. I don't know.
Like, I love that, like, hey, like, I want to have more female voices out there on, being represented, turn into that. My favorite is that she started stalking D-Comic Queen Natalie.
Oh my god.
Trying to figure out how to get her own, like, I'm a comic book fan following. Which D-Comic Queen, like, seriously, anybody who, like, starts with the fake female fan shit, just look at her collection. Jesus fucking Christ. Like, her Saga throwdown the other day where she had, like, 6 or 9 number ones of Saga that she laid out. And, I don't know. Yeah.
I remember her first video or first interview with, I think it was on John's Comic Kids, I believe. But, like, or maybe it was Bueller, I don't know. But it was like in her like pantry.
Her little comic room.
Yeah, little comic room that she had and stuff. And damn, dude, she kills me on her collection. So yeah,
she actually had me on to do my first live stream where we just bashed Tom King for 2 hours.
So, that reminds me. Was it last night's live where, Chris asked you a stream of why people would like Tom King?
Yeah.
I want to see that. I want to fucking see that. That'd be great. I want to see nothing but that for the whole show.
Chris, Chaos and Comics is awesome. He went into art history on the show we did last night so much, and I appreciate what he brought to the show. And he's always so fucking contrarian about everything.
Yeah, dude. Hilarious. And all of you guys, I love being on here with all of you because I'm a fucking noob. I don't know shit. And so they say surround yourself with people that are smarter and more knowledgeable and stuff. And that's why I love coming here.
That's always one of my fears when I have to do a comic show, because I'm such a new reader. I didn't start reading until the pandemic, right? So every people will be like, who's your favorite pairing of all time for artists and writers? And I'm like, I don't know. I guess it's Cates and Stegman because they're the only names I can think of right now. I have no idea who anyone is, but it's been cool doing more comic reviews because it's at least given me a chance to branch out and start to find out who I like. And
well, I think that's the thing with doing film shows, because I don't think there's a way of being wrong.
Yeah.
You guys can like and hate something for different reasons, but you can also say hey, this was good in it. And most movies, you can find at least one good thing. The sound will be great. The score will be great. I don't think there's a movie that I've watched that I've hated every aspect of it.
Bearded, I disagree with him a lot. I also like watching him talk about movies too. So.
Cats is the one movie I haven't made it through. I just couldn't.
I will never check.
I've made it through Cats quite a few times. Unfortunately,
I didn't find the butthole edition. So I don't. That never popped up.
My daughter loves Cats, and she and I love the original Cats.
I remember in New York going to the actual live performance of it, where they would walk through the crowd and sit in your lap, and I was like,
yeah,
what's going on?
But I don't know. The film is just it completely misses. It just completely misses the point of a show that is relatively pointless in and of itself. And it's but anyway, I've watched Cats way more than I probably ever should.
Les Mis, the film version, where they're Russell Crowe singing, is I'm not cut out for this, but I'll try.
That was such a dangerous production. I couldn't, as a stage actor, I could not imagine singing full voice for 18. You will seriously damage your voice for that.
Oh yeah.
Having Hugh Jackman not drink water for days in order to give an authentic performance before he sang really could damage his voice irreparably for the rest of his life. And they did that, and they were proud of it. That's the sad part. There was no vocal coach on there that loved these actors enough to speak truth into their lives. They are proud of the fact that Anne
Hathaway was so excited just to be part of it, which was cool. I get it, but Russell Crowe, I felt bad because he got jammed so hard for that movie, and he was a rock singer in his own little band. What were you expecting?
Although oddly enough, that lack of water for Hugh Jackman might have helped him with his Wolverine role.
It did. He got jacked, man.
He got jacked, and he had a little bit more gravelly voice, a little bit. So.
The thing is, having the way that they sang, there's nothing wrong. Russell Crowe's a fine singer. If you watch them sing these songs after the fact as a group, they do a fine job. The way that the film was shot, they didn't play music to it. So imagine if I'm trying to sing a song with all these complex notes and layers. Dan's trying to sing a song over me with complex notes and layers. Neither one of us have music. The band is trying to write the music to match what we're doing as actors. That is not the way it's done. When I go and perform, for example, Beauty and the Beast, there were a lot of things I wanted to do as Lumiere, as an actor to add to the role. Doesn't matter. The pit band, the conductor, they're doing what's on the page. I don't have any chance to change that. That's the opposite of what they did in Les Mis, and that made every actor out of tune, off key. You know, there's so many different problems they had. Eddie Redmayne's the only one, I think. Well, not the only one, but most of the younger actors in the second half of the film, the reason they sound so good is they're just singing the notes as written. They're not improvising. They're not changing anything. They're singing the notes as written. The music matches, and you can
the
see
Gerard Butler Phantom of the Opera also was another one that was a misstep.
And that musical I can watch. It's not definitely not one of my favorites. But then there are people that swear by that musical. Like Robbie loves that thing. He watches it like all the time. It's like
Emmy Rossum.
Yeah, and Gerard Butler. And like there are a lot of people that just swear by that film. And
I can't endure musicals. I'm sorry.
Some of them can be done well, and then there's some others. So one of my favorites was the one that was done to the music of the Beatles.
Oh, across the
universe. I thought that was done well.
I might watch that maybe.
That one's good. I don't know. I'm a sucker for a musical. I'll watch just about anything. But a musical that I think
was my mom's favorite.
Which one?
Camelot with Richard Burton.
Oh, see, one of the musicals I don't think gets enough credit because of its name is Grease 2. Like Grease 2 has got some really great songs in it.
We couldn't get Michelle Pfeiffer. We got TD Pfeiffer.
Yeah. It's just like it was such a like, I don't know, the film is messy and wrong, but I still listen to like reproductions on like 5 of my playlists. Like I listen to that stupid soundtrack.
I've not seen Grease 2, but I know.
I remember being on hold with my work, the HR, and when I was at Barnes and Noble, I like turned to my boss, I was like, why can't we have like Grease Lightning or something from Grease 1? He goes, have you ever actually read the lyrics? I was like, no. And he goes, here, let me show you. I was like, holy shit, that's wrong. And he goes, yeah, that's why it's not hold music. I was like, all right. I completely misinterpreted that whole fucking movie.
So the first time I ever saw Grease, I was trapped on a bus doing a United Nations tour when I was a junior, I think, in high school. And so we were driving to like DC and New York and whatnot. And the girls, after we had watched like a bunch of action movies that I brought because awesome 90s, they wanted to
watch Howie Long's Fire
Down Below or whatever.
Firestorm.
We watched The Rock, Men in Black, and I want to say Speed, even maybe. But anyway, after that, the girls were like, "Oh, we want to watch a movie. Let's watch Grease," and everybody's like, "All right, whatever." So they put it on. Like 98% of the dudes just like pass out, like not even. I would say a quarter of the way through Grease, and then we wake up and it's over. And it's like, thank God.
And those were the guys who didn't get any that night.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I actively avoided watching that film with any of my friends in high school only because it is impossible for me to watch Grease without singing along. It's just in all the parts. Like I'm not just singing Danny's parts.
Hey, speaking of chaos and comedy,
hey, station
the devil and he shall appear. What's up?
Oh, he hasn't popped up in my chat yet on this side.
I don't open the StreamYard chat because it's like behind the YouTube. So I open YouTube pop-out chat, and I close the video, and then I have StreamYard. So it's weird. I don't know. Anyway.
Yeah. Hey.
Yeah, I put the pop-out chat.
I'm trying to lobby to get Dan to do that show where he only says why people would like Tom King's Batman, and he's gonna do it. He's gonna do it. You were summoned, Chris.
If you've never read another Batman comic, this is for you.
Oddly enough, there were a lot of people that joined during that run that like didn't know, because I remember, because I mean this is my second, well, I should say I've been done for like a year, maybe almost, not quite, but my second run of being into and reading comics, actually reading comics, started like 2014, 2015. After I got out like 2000, I think, maybe. But yeah, a lot of people were like, "Hey, where should I get started in Batman or whatever?" Because there's just so many reboots and so many, rebirth and all that shit. And a lot of people joined during the Tom King run. So
it started pretty like fast moving, and
that's true. Half of Twitter,
like, it kind of slowed down. So for me, like, there was a certain storyline where I was just like, you know what, fuck this. But yet I started hate reading. And it's a horrible thing to start hate reading.
I saw a bunch of Instagram and like people talking, like a lot of people were doing that, hate reading it just because, well, I might as well continue reading it,
And I hate to say it, but it became like my weird YouTube brand. So I might have dug in. And then like I had this conversation with Bearded one night on the messaging on IG, because he had been on a show with Jen and Mars. And I was like, like, it's not for me. And he had said that's what got him back reading Batman. And I started thinking, okay, well, this could be someone's first Batman. So, and I think it was Frank Miller said, you know what, who your favorite, whatever Batman is, the one you love most is the right Batman. And I was like, you know what, like,
it's kind of fair.
You like it. It's not for me. And I had to come to grips that it's not for me. And I think that was the hardest part of like, this isn't my Batman.
Sure.
But boy, oh boy, that wedding made for, or non-wedding.
I haven't got that far yet, so I have all the issues.
It made for some great views on my thing, and D Comic Queen, I became friends over that, and what a fucking nightmare Heroes in Crisis was.
Oh yeah, that. I mean,
yeah, we did 2 hours on that for my first live stream ever with her, and then she went and did a show with John's Comics where he was doing a court of whether it was right or wrong, that book, and like she ended up getting kind of hijacked on it. Like it was kind of set up against her.
So speaking of, like, I would think, so if I had the choice, I mean, I loved freaking some of the stuff Marv Wolfman did back in the day, but if I had the choice to come in as like a newbie on Batman, I would think Scott Snyder would be my jam, dude.
Scott Snyder was okay, but even his run had some real bad change of courses in the middle where, like, I compare him to Stephen King, where he can't land a fucking ending to save his life. Even Stephen King makes fun of like the fact he can't make an ending, and Scott Snyder weirdly is a huge Stephen King fan.
That's fair, but like that's down the line. I'm talking like jumping in, like start.
Court of Owls was very good.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was the Law of Diminishing Returns, each story after that.
Sure.
I thought Black Mirror was pretty good.
Black Mirror was very good on Detective, and he also had a nervous breakdown over getting a Batman title after American Vampire. He literally got drunk before he went to the meeting and like was on his computer sending an email and fell asleep, passed out while hitting who his artist was. So it said Jock.
He did. Dan, you wouldn't do that if you got Batman to write for? You just
I'd be a fucking disaster. Like I know how like my anxiety is as it is, and then times that by like 200.
Yeah.
Why don't I guess my issue with Tom King, the stuff that I've read, is that he just doesn't know what to do with length. You know what I mean? Like if it runs, he's pretty decent. Like I liked the first 6 issues of Batman Catwoman, and now I don't like any of them. like it's just like it's.
I think he
just
feels
runs out
the
of
need
steam.
to constantly deconstruct. And I think there's characters who have been deconstructed to death that you really don't know. You don't need to know more about. Like Miracle Man, perfect character to deconstruction
Oh
with.
my god, dude, that series was fucking phenomenal.
Vision, Scarlet Witch, perfect series to do that with. Even the Adam Strange one, character you can do that with. Character like Batman, I feel like they've been deconstructed to death. Like, I'm not saying there's no new stories to tell, but I think when you're deconstructing the character, like, you don't need to, at least for me as an older reader. For newer readers, they dug it, and that's where I seem to get it. Like, newer readers love that book, where me, I was just bored by it.
Yeah, I can't remember where it was. It might have been on Chris the Comic Vet stream, or maybe, I don't know. I just started watching a lot more YouTube to get kind of caught up because I've been work has just been ridiculous lately, and they actually production is so crazy that they added a second shift to our building. I mean, we were usually closed by 5, but it's so crazy that they added a second shift, so we're gonna be open until like 11 now. But luckily, I don't have to worry about most of that. I mean, some of it I kind of cross over a little bit, but so long story short, yeah, work's just been insane. So, but someone had brought up a point of like, and I can't remember who the writer was for what series. It might have been Spider-Man or something, but like, yeah, there's a lot of deconstruction of like these characters and whatnot. But a lot of the longtime readers want to see like reconstruction, not deconstruction. Like,
Well, I compared it to being a drug addict, where as an older reader, you're looking for that next fix, the one that's going to give you that high again.
There you go.
Like for some people, that was Jim Lee's Hush on Batman, where it was like, man, like this is what I've been looking for. This has got everything in it. And like as an X-Men reader, 100% House of X, Powers of X was that like, all right, you got me that good stuff. Like let's keep going. Like. And I think that's what it is. Like, you're just looking for that high again of like what got you into it. And when you jumped in, and you might not ever get that again. And you just have to look for something like Image Comics and even the stuff Aftershock's been putting out have been the books that have hooked me in most because I feel they're the most original.
Yeah.
Yeah, Aftershock's been killing it. I don't talk too much about Aftershock. I'm an employee, so I try to keep that part separate. But they're one of my favorites. Definitely.
Ron V's The Many Deaths of Layla Starr.
Oh my gosh,
interesting series. Like something new. Like it had a little bit of mythology, religion. Like it was something new. Even what he's doing on Swamp Thing, the reinvention of the character. Ron V Swamp Thing, if you were wanting to get in on a Vertigo title, I think it's a great book to jump in on. And I think he is an up-and-coming writer that I still think people are sleeping on a little bit. I know we were just talking about Ron V. Right?
Yeah, I love Ron.
Put Vertigo.
What's that?
I thought Vertigo was done.
Vertigo's done. It's Black Label now.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Hey, Manny, is Aftershock hiring in the Iowa area? Because I might be looking to change careers, maybe.
I'm not sure. I'll send you a link. It's not a. It's not really a job replacement type job. It's like I'll hit you up.
Supplement. It's a supplement.
It
I'll clean
pays
toilet.
for what I spend at the shops when I go there.
Yeah,
for the most part. like I don't know, like they pay you basically. You get paid to go visit shops and touch base with the owners, make sure they're being taken care of, those sorts of things. And I spend on average about what I make when I go into the shop, just buying stuff while I'm there. So it's just fun money. I was telling my wife I could probably, if I went and worked at a shop part-time like twice a month, I'd probably make considerably more money doing that. But
oh no, I got paid in credit. I got paid for credit.
Oh no.
Oh yeah.
Like me when I worked at Menards back in the day, and they had payroll deduction, and you could charge stuff on there. Like every paycheck would be gone because I'd be like building shit.
Oh,
It was terrible. But no, like yeah, man, I'm looking to get more into passions and stuff. I'm getting older, so working for the man's kind of losing the deal a little bit, regardless of the pay. So.
Writing articles and affiliate marketing is probably, but probably that's probably of my side hustles, probably the most lucrative. But we'll talk in the DMs.
Definitely. Yeah. So we're almost at the 2-hour mark. We're actually at the 2-hour mark. This went way longer than I thought it would, but we had a lot of side stuff to talk about, which, I mean, if ever there's going to be a theme of this show or my channel, it's going to be our conversations leading to other conversations that go into other conversations. And since we are a comic movie crossover show, like I think it all kind of blends together. On Thursday, I will be interviewing John Fleming, Colette Turner's partner, who is launching his first Kickstarter by himself, and it's Murder Die Senpai. Very anime manga themed book. We're going to be doing that at 9:30 Eastern time. We're going to be talking about what he's learned from past Kickstarter campaigns, which for me is always interesting because Kickstarter is such a unique beast that you can succeed on your campaigns. You can have pratfalls during your campaigns. Carla Nappi talked about it on our duplicate stream when she talked to Jen and I, and like things that she had to learn of how to do stuff. And then Second Sight actually came through and became her main distributor after the fact. Second Sight seems to be a great friend to indies, people out there, like first timers. So if you haven't checked out Second Sight Publishing, go out there and check them out. You've had Marvin on quite a few times. Rod's a huge fan of Marvin. We both had Carla Nappi on from Duplicant. TKO Publishing also is another one. I had Steve Orlando, who now has Marauders on X-Men now in the X universe. And then Saturday night at 10 p.m., 7 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific, John's Comics, and I will be talking to Rodney Barnes, author of Philadelphia and Nita Hawes' Nightmare blog. And We're going to be talking about his Lakers biopic that he's doing for the Showtime era, Winning Time. And I picked our book for book club next month. It is Argent Star Beta Ray Bill by Daniel Warren Johnson. We're going to have She the Geek, Sheena, joining us.
Sheena.
I've been trying to get her on for a while. She's actually finally comfortable being on camera after doing her Comics in Queens with J Rails, Inja Binja. I don't know if I'm even pronouncing that right, but Nicole Hodnett and Moonlit Comics. So I'm happy to get her on. She's actually been a great supporter of the channel over the last year and a half, and I thought it was a good way to kind of pay her back. She loved this book.
She's a great person in the community.
She very much is. Like, I've never seen someone like just support so many channels, and I don't understand how she has the time to be able to watch all of this, because we've all talked about, like, I can't even keep up with the stuff I have to do on the channel, so I don't understand like how you can keep up with all these other, like, I will subscribe like crazy, but actually staying live, like watching live or even on the replays, it's hard for me. It really is.
I wish I could do 100th of what she does, man. It's just impressive.
And you've got your Whiplash Wednesday with Fable, TM Dirty, Missing Link.
Yep. Nick Comic Culture.
Nick Comic Culture, who I see keeps getting bigger and bigger.
Yep.
Cerebros, I've seen growing quite a bit.
Verno's doing big. Verno, I just love Verno. Verno's so effortless about just having the conversations and being Verno. He's so genuinely Verno. Like, I love the guy.
It's weird. I have the anxiety leading up to going live, and then once I go live, it kind of goes away. But everything leading up to that, I'm just like, oh, God, like, man, like, I don't want to do this.
I'm terrified the whole time. Like, I'm just like,
but maybe it's the alcohol calms me down, but like, I usually get to a point where like just going live, like, oh, I gotta go to the bathroom again. Oh, I gotta go to the bathroom.
so many of the shows I'm on now, we've like started including commercial breaks pretty much, like so that people can go to the bathroom like in between segments, because I don't know, we're all getting up there age-wise.
Yeah, but you guys keep growing. Comics Kings, who I've done shows with in the past, also you've got him on there. You seem to keep adding people. Like Whiplash Wednesday keeps getting longer and longer. But what I do appreciate, Nick, I think it was you and Nick did that show with Rod where you were talking about like lighting and everything going into it, like for new people starting and how important it was. And that is something that gets lost a lot with like when you're starting, like how your sound. Yeah, Rod the Rican.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, no, we definitely, I'm an electrician, and then I'm a photographer and videographer in central Minnesota. So I've had the luxury of being able to figure some of that stuff out.
But have you bathed in the waters of Lake Minnetonka?
Oh, I can't figure out my light. I wouldn't fix that. I went and fixed the guy's hot tub at Lake Minnetonka once, and I looked around at the houses. I can't afford to go to Lake Minnetonka.
I just had to throw in the Prince reference. Why don't you go purify yourself in the waters of Lake Minnetonka?
Dude, classic.
Purple Rain.
Man. Awesome. But
God bless you this day and time.
Manny, you need to do my lighting in my comic room someday.
Definitely. I know if I can make it down to Huntsville in April, I'm gonna see if I help Robbie out too.
I don't know. That's a little.
Well, I know like Jen just uses Christmas lights.
Yeah.
The only thing with Christmas lights is sometimes you get them and they the frequency
cause the camera to start
twinkling.
refocusing.
Yeah, well, like sometimes with LEDs, if your camera isn't catching it at the right shutter speed, you'll see them blinking because they're constantly every second they're blinking 60 times. So
my problem is getting the right warmth out of my ring light because I have one that's just unforgiving.
Yeah. I have a clam right now, so I didn't set it up before because I like rushed down here to jump on the stream, but like I have a big octagon softbox right here because my chin game is super weak. So like this adds this shadow right here. So it makes it look like you have a jaw.
That's why I got this.
And then
I got 3 soft boxes.
And then I like one of the nice things about having this particular skin tone is it's very reflective. So I have different LED lights just to kind of add that element to it. So I have 1 softbox here and 2 softboxes here with different LED color lights.
What kind of bulb are you using in your softbox? The daylights, or are you using soft whites?
This right here is an aperture with a glow, this right here is just an LED. It's just a regular studio light, so it not a flash or anything, just an aperture A2, and then I've got gels, blue gels here and blue gels here. This one here is this one right here is an off-brand. I want to say it's a NEEWER newer, and it's a 500 watt equivalent, but I have it dialed down to like 10%, so I couldn't tell you what the wattage is at right now.
Yeah, because I've got 3 soft boxes, but they're all daylight in them, and it's weirdly way too harsh.
Yeah. Has been working pretty good. Those LED corn cobs you can get at like your local hardware store. If you can get those in 4,000 Kelvin or even 3,500 Kelvin.
I've seen people actually taking just the stands and getting the clamp lights and using them. Yep. Also, which works okay because at least you can kind of control a little bit more and put the gels over them.
Yep, and I've done that too on shoots, on locations when I haven't brought enough lighting. Just use regular old clamp stands. And
to be honest, Carlito, looking like you just need some LEDs on your backlighting.
See, that's what I was thinking. Mm-hmm. Back there, I want I have the bookcase kind of deal. It's all LED I got, but it's not turned on right now because I'm redoing the whole room. But yeah, I just want like I'm good with right here. I don't care. I got a little bit of glare
you can just
get
those the lights that hook into the wall
because the overhead light is just it washes out too much. So But
yeah, literally, you just need those lights that actually.
Manny, I've watched your lighting video, and I still look like shit. So
no, just all you need is a hair light, brother. Just a hair light behind you, just to separate you from the background. And as long as it's dark, yeah, as long as it's dark white, you know what I mean. I can definitely see your outline. Where I lose you is your shoulders on the bookshelf.
yeah.
So if you just
one of the tall key lights would probably end up with just the soft bulb.
Yeah, my ring light's all right. I mean, but just
no, you have nice even lighting on your face. There's no harsh shadows.
And I got the beard. I gotta trim the sides a little bit, but I don't really, when I'm this heavy, it's kind of hard to have a nice defined.
Just grow it out and start braiding it. Get the Viking.
So you gotta grow the Viking beard out, which finally, I used to trim it down because of COVID and wearing the mask, and I still gotta wear a mask at work, but now I'm just like I don't care anymore as far as shaving. So I'm just gonna let it grow out again to where it used to be like super Viking beard long, which I love. And actually, I will say the ladies actually kind of love that too. So
I can't grow facial hair to save my soul. So
you're like my brother.
No.
Mine just ends up looking horrible, and now I notice the grays more than anything else.
Dude, I literally have maybe there was one little spot of gray in my hair on the top of my head, but my beard the last 2 years, if you look at one of the first streams I did with Burke or John, it was just a streak right here. Now it's fully gray, and I'm blaming it on COVID, dude.
Listen, COVID's done a lot of shit to everybody. So I'm gonna end this. Thank you everybody for joining us, and if anybody has questions for Rodney Barnes on Philadelphia or Nita Hawes, join us on Saturday night at 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific. And if you have any Big Trouble in Little China questions or where to go after this, feel free to hit up myself or Chamorro. There's the Boom series out there, which is fairly good. Eric Powell, who did The Goon, is out there. And
dude, I gotta rewatch Big Trouble in Little China. I feel like that's gonna be one you guys were talking about. Every now and then, I'm just gonna be I want to have some fun. I'm gonna watch it.
There is a guy called Oliver Harper who did a great breakdown of the making of.
Oh, cool.
Oliver Harper
on YouTube, or
yes, yeah, his retrospective videos.
His retrospectives. Nice. He's fucking great. He's done every John Carpenter movie.
I wonder if I've. Maybe.
He's a British guy. I guess he was doing them on Blip TV to avoid all of the not making money on YouTube from using all the clips.
Yeah, dude, YouTube's getting strict.
I'd say he's one of the best out there of his retrospectives. His RoboCop one is beyond great.
Dude, I gotta rewatch that, man.
The 4K comes out from Arrow Video next month.
Ooh, Arrow's killing it on the 4K.
There's a special edition which has the fold-out poster. I've got the David Lynch Dune one, which I hate that I bought, but it's Dune.
I don't think I've seen RoboCop in 20 years. It's got to be that long. So I got
amazingly, Peter Weller was their 5th choice.
Really?
Yes.
I mean, I knew there were a couple choices before.
They tried to get Schwarzenegger. Could you imagine?
What would that?
That would be totally different.
I mean, could you picture Stallone? Drop it.
Oh yeah.
Peter Weller, and if people haven't seen Buckaroo Banzai, it's worth a watch once.
Yeah, I think I saw that once.
And also, he did a horror movie that was underwater called Leviathan, which is an infection movie, I guess you could call it. And I really liked it. And Amanda Pays was in it, who was in the RoboCop. Oh no, not RoboCop. Max Headroom TV series.
Oh.
And I always had the biggest crush on her growing up, and she's married to Corbin Burnson, weirdly.
Really?
Yeah. Just weird information. But if anything, you guys are looking for movie recommendations, again, our DMs are always open. All of us can always hit weird shit that maybe you're not looking for. We haven't picked next month's movie, but we will get on it and go ahead.
Wait, we're gonna do a recommendation for.
Ooh,
I mean, we always do that. Come on, man, you gotta do it.
fuck.
Fuck.
Movies like this are. Oof.
I mean, I got one right off the bat.
Oh, really? Okay.
It's not really, but sort of. Joyride. Paul Walker and Steve Zahn.
Oh.
Because of the CB stuff at the beginning. Like that's it. And was like, oh my god, this reminds me of that a little bit.
Okay, I'll go there. Yeah, that I actually like that movie.
It's good, dude. It's fun. It's fun.
Okay, for Asian cinema, if you're looking for a great action film, I'm gonna go with Tony Jaa's The Protector. Yes, it has to do with an elephant at the beginning, but after that, it gets into the Hong Kong cinema of it. And I'll be damned, Tony Jaa, like, especially after credits, they start showing all of the accidents that happened during the making of and injuries. There is a guy who gets his whole leg folded during one of the scenes when they're fighting on a truck. Like, it is dangerous as fuck. And, like, Tony Jaa is fantastic. And also, if you want to see a fat guy play with knives, Sammo Hung, look up any of his movies.
Recommendations for films like this. As far as if we're gonna go like Asian cinema, kung fu type films, I would have to say, and this is kind of a go-to, which is kind of, I know it's going to be a thing, but Warriors of Virtue is another like fantasy kung fu film that doesn't take itself very seriously, that you just turn on and have dumb fun with.
I thought you were going to hit Drunken Master.
Oh, that too. But I think, honestly, I mean, just like a fun action popcorn flick. And again, one that has fantasy elements, but action elements and doesn't take itself serious. Last Action Hero. I mean, I know it has nothing to do with this, but it's thematically similar. And I think that's another one where
it is oddly.
Where you could go to.
There is the other one. Was it with Donnie Yen, or was it Donnie Yen? Legend.
That's Jet Li, isn't it?
Jet Li with Broken Sword and Snow, where it had a little bit of fantasy, and it had him meeting in front of the Emperor, and every time he presented something, he got to move like a foot closer, trying to assassinate the Emperor.
Mm-hmm.
There were some good. Jet Li had like an era of movies that were really.
I'm not gonna lie, like one of the go-to Jet Li movies I keep going back to is Romeo Must Die. It's kind of it's not a fun movie. But it's fun. It's fun.
That was a fun movie. Like Anthony Anderson's weirdly in it.
DMX has a great song on there, so
Yeah, Romeo Must Die. I like everything. We talked about this on a show I was on not too long ago. I like every element of it except for the romance element, because Jet Li and Aaliyah do not look like they are the same age or the same like it just.
Well, then you get into the whole R. Kelly of it, where R. Kelly supposedly was hitting her as a child, and
that's true too. So
Leah, sorry for bringing it down. Like this is one of those ones. It's so many genres because it's. Listen, you call it what it is, but there's a Western element to it.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, like go watch Tombstone.
I almost watched that the other night. I was like, I want to throw in like kind of like a Western.
I'm saving that for an episode because I know we're gonna do it at some point.
So I finished Yellowstone, and I'm like, God damn, it's so good. And then I finished Justified, my like 5th rewatch, and
Young Guns 2, still like a fucking entertaining movie.
Mm-hmm.
But Sam Elliott is in Justified, and he's in Tombstone, and I was like, man, I should watch Tombstone again.
Oh, do you know what Sam Elliott also is in? Roadhouse.
Oh, Roadhouse. Yeah, I have not.
Anytime he ties that hair back into a in a bun, you know he's about to throw down.
I think it's been 30 years since I've seen that. I was like 10 years old.
Listen, man, like he had that. There was that era where
I love him, man. I love him.
Well, not Sam Elliott, but who was Swayze was in everything.
Oh, yeah, Swayze. I even like that little cop kind of show he did when it was filmed in Chicago. I can't remember the name of it.
Oh,
but,
the one, the Beast or whatever it was.
Yeah, the Beast. Oh, dude, that was good. Like, I didn't think I would like it, and I ended up. He gave his fucking whole self to that show. Like, it was just phenomenal. I was actually living in Chicago, I think, when they were filming that.
He's not like David Caruso, who gave his soul and everything else to everything he's been. Guy more known for putting on his sunglasses.
I was just gonna say.
Yeah. All right. Okay, we're way over. Thank you very much, everybody, and of course, follow everybody, subscribe, and we'll be back next month. Bye bye.